All right, so I'm going to make this kind of quick because, and I also have to be a little bit quiet because I am in the courthouse, old Monroe County Courthouse, which was the inspiration that Harper Lee used actually for the courtroom scene in To Kill a Mockingbird. So we're actually up on the second level right now. So I will turn. So this is the courtroom that inspired Harper Lee during for the famous court scene in To Kill a Mockingbird. And so it's all a museum right now. There's nobody really here because it just opened. But they basically, whenever they did the movie in the early 60s, they actually rebuilt this entire courtroom on a Hollywood soundstage. And so right there, that you can see where Atticus Finchwood is at, and smell around. This is built in the early 1900s, and so they tried to keep it sort of true to what the book had. And according to the people downstairs, Harper Lee and Truman Capote, who was her childhood friend, they used to actually sneak into this room and witness the courtroom cases. So while other kids were out playing and everything, they would sometimes sneak in here and just take in the drama, from the courtroom here. So, but this is the second level. And we head back down. They didn't say there were any rules about periscoping. They might not know what it is. Anyway, it's a beautiful place. For those of you that are fans of the book, and a famous tree that they used to hide things in, I guess this is the sort of inspiration for that. Pocket watch. And then I'll take you on the first level here. Now they do a staged production of To Kill a Mockingbird, usually in the springtime. I think they do it over a 2-month period, and it's actually separated into two parts. So the first part they do outside in an amphitheater they had built, and then they move the second portion, the courtroom scene, into the actual courtroom here. So it's not something I've ever done, but I'd love to at some point. So hopefully y'all are fans of To Kill a Mockingbird. It was one of my favorite books growing up. And also, it's honestly my favorite movie of all time. Because I remember watching the movie when I was like a little kid on vacation. I remember going to Florida with my family. And that movie was playing on TV, and I remember just loving the movie. And I couldn't have been more than like 6 at the time. But I fell in love with the movie, and if you ever want to see me try, just show me the ending scene. It gets me every single time. But anyway, this is the inspiration for the courtroom scene. And of course, Harper Lee, as y'all know, she released a second book called Go Set a Watchman. If you're huge fans of To Kill a Mockingbird and you love the character of Atticus Finch, I do not recommend reading Go Set a Watchman because, Go Set a Watchman was actually an original draft. And then the publishers went back and said, we would like to find out more about what Scout and them were like as children. And so she went back and did the To Kill a Mockingbird. And then recently, of course, I guess they went back in the archives and they found Go Set a Watchman, and somehow or another they got Harper Lee to agree to it. There's been all sorts of controversy about whether she was kind of sound mind in order to release the book, but you know, her sister Alice was her lawyer for many, many years, and so she oversaw everything regarding the estate. And when Alice died, just a couple months after that, all of a sudden Go Set a Watchman is getting ready for release. And so some people are kind of wondering whether somebody convinced her to do it sort of against her will, because she might not have known what she was doing. But according to the publisher, she's happy as can be that the book has finally been released. So we'll continue on in here, and I'll take you outside too, but I'll probably have to like shut down the periscope for a little bit. So here's the tree again. All right, well, here we are again, and this is my glasses. For those of you that did not tune in a little bit earlier, I'm at Monroeville, Alabama, and this is the place made famous by Harper Lee's famous novel, To Kill a Mockingbird, which I think if you were in any 10th grade history or English class, you probably read it, or in the school I used to teach at, it was 8th grade. So, but anyway, let me turn it around and I'll show you. I'll give you a little tour of the outside. I was already in the courtroom, if you want to go back and look at that. But now we're going to do a little tour of the outside. All right? There we go. Well, this is Monroeville, and so this is where Harper Lee was born. And she grew up here, and her childhood best friend was Truman Capote, who is another famous author. And like I said a little bit earlier, they used to sneak into this courtroom right here, in this building right here, and they would listen to her father, who apparently was an attorney as well. They used to listen to him deliver court cases, and so she was inspired by the town, by the setting of the town, and she used this as the basis for the town that she created for To Kill a Mockingbird, which was Maycomb. But this is Monroeville. And so, of course, they're kind of capitalizing on it too. They love their literary history here, so they call themselves the literary capital of Alabama. And so they've got these little birdhouses spread throughout. So this is the To Kill a Mockingbird birdhouse. I think I'm walking through stuff I'm not supposed to walk through. So yeah, there you go. And down this way, let's see, down this way they've got a plaque for Atticus Finch. I'll show you where that is. So yeah, Atticus Finch is like one of my favorite characters in literature. Absolutely love the character, and I loved Gregory Peck's portrayal of him in the movie. And so they created a little plaque here in honor of the fiction Atticus Finch, and it's gonna be really hard to read. I'll try to get out of the way here. Anyway, if you're a speed reader, go ahead and read it. But it was put here by the Bar Association here in Alabama as a testament to the character that Harper Lee created. So this is definitely like small town America here. In fact, there's like a little old man who stopped me when I was taking pictures, and he kept jabbering on for like 20 minutes. He told me like story after story, and most of it was just about his family. But he said that he got to know Harper Lee. He said that she's very reclusive, like she was very guarded. And so nobody around here really knew her well, because she was just that way, you know. She like never gave she gave very few interviews in her life. Now, what I'm going to show you right here is the little amphitheater that they created. Now, every spring they do a special production of To Kill a Mockingbird. It's like a live stage play, and so this is the set that they use for part one of the play. And so you got Boo Radley's house right over here, which is of course scary. And then you got Atticus Finch's house, and then you got to forgive me because it's been a while since I've read the book and seen or even seen the movie. But this is where, oh gosh, Aunt something would have been. Just basically their neighbors. So anyway, they do the live stage play out here in the springtime, weather permitting, every spring. And they do part 1 out here, but then they've transitioned part 2, the courtroom scene, into the actual courtroom, which I showed a little bit earlier. So this amphitheater, supposedly they can fit 250 people in here. I don't know how they're able to do that because it's a small area, so they have to be all over each other. They have to be real skinny. So, but this is Monroeville. I hear Christmas music going on in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. So just little shops around the town square. You know, it's kind of sad. Town squares are kind of dying off. You know, my dad used to have, this reminds me a lot of my hometown whenever I was a kid. And, you know, the town squares pretty much died off. My dad's business closed, all that. So it feels a little bit like stepping back into time here. Anyway, here's another view of the amphitheater. I'd love to come see it. I think they do it in like April and March or something like that. And it draws a lot of people. So. And then I'll show you the final shot of the courthouse itself. It's right here. It's actually a museum now. And the museum's very nice. They've got some personal items of Truman Capote. Oh, and there's a statue I was looking for. I was wondering where they put this. But here's a statue just celebrating a love of reading, which I grew to love reading as a little kid because of some very nice, very special teachers. I had a teacher named Mrs. Miller, and I struggled to read when I first started out. And then I also had a tutor, her name is Mrs. Linquist, and she's a little tiny old lady, and she would give me a toy car every time I did something right. So that motivated me. So anyway, here's your last view of the courthouse itself. Alright. So, with that, I'm going to end the tour here because I've got to get on the road back down to Tampa, because it's been a couple weeks since I've been home, and it's actually kind of unexpected. I was going to visit a friend in Nashville, then I had to go see my dad. It's been a crazy ordeal. So anyway, I'm finally getting to go home and finally actually celebrate Christmas and all that kind of stuff. So I will see you all somewhere on the road later on. I don't know where, but take care. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.